Whatever does it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? Your boy Gage is here in the building, whatever building that happens to be where you are, with the homie Jokes. Jokes, say
Yo,
what up.
yo,
Two yos
two
for you.
yos.
And you are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today,
Today,
Jokes, today is going to be typical in terms of what a show is generally like.
Mhm.
However, it will be a bit shorter than what people are probably used to. We do have some things to talk about. We also have some things we need to get done so that we're ready for this weekend. So, for those of you who are not already supporting us on Patreon, if you can do so, we would greatly appreciate it. It helps us out a whole lot. And on that note, it is time for the 619 Hall of Fame. Jokes, if you will.
yeah, there.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. Look, Jokes. Two things I need. One, can you post the link to the website?
Sure can.
And then two, post the link for Extra Life. For those of you who are unaware, I know that most of you probably are aware. Extra Life is this coming weekend. We are starting on Friday and we are going through Sunday. Now, unlike when we were a bit younger and we would do this for 24 hours and start on Saturday at 8 a.m. and end on Sunday at like 9 a.m., we're doing our 24 hours, really a little bit longer than that, but split over 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It has already started. A good evening. We had our good man Dom jump in on Sunday, I'm sorry, start his 24-hour stream. He's already started collecting monies for the team. So I want to thank Dom for doing that. He's also planning to join us this weekend. We will get to the details of what you should expect this weekend a little bit later in the show, but I wanted to make sure I dropped that reminder at the beginning of the show. Now, Jokes.
Yep.
Of the two of us, you are the only one with a Switch 2. And I know Pokemon is out and has been a thing. Beyond Pokemon, have you been getting much use out of your Switch 2?
Outside of Pokemon, like I've played Mario Kart obviously a little bit just because it came with the console when I got it, but I haven't put as much time into it. And the games that I have gone and played on the Switch 2 have been older titles, so nothing newer that's fully utilizing the power of the Switch 2. So I would say I haven't used it to its full advantage of probably what I could do for it. But Pokemon has really been the one main thing that has keeping me from playing the Switch 2.
Were you excited about the Animal Crossing announcement last week? Them doing a Switch 2 version and an update?
I was cool with it. I know a lot of people love Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Like when back during our lockdown phase that we had, Animal Crossing came out and literally took everyone, like a lot of people that never played Animal Crossing jumped into it. I did buy it, but it didn't do it for me though.
Did you play it? You played it?
Played a little bit.
Interesting. I don't think we ever talked about that. I don't think I knew you bought that. I mean, it sounds like you. It sounds right, but I just don't think I realized that you had made that purchase. Hello. Sorry, I've been busy the past weeks with work and brother's wedding last Wednesday. Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations on that.
That's awesome. Look, We're happy to have you anytime you're here. When you can't be here, we miss you, but we're glad you're back. As long as you're okay. Jokes. Today they dropped the final trailer for Metroid Prime 4, which is called Metroid Prime 4 : Beyond. Should we take a look?
Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
All right.
Ew, I don't like that. Why is that not? There
I
we
don't
go.
know. There you go. You figured it out?
It's doing something weird. We're going to see if this actually shows up. Because it's showing. Yeah, that is not.
Oh, bro, that's us.
So we're going to pull that link back up because I actually had that link saved that you actually put up. So let's just do that again. And I think it just took over the web browser when I did it. So,
That's what it
whatever.
seemed like. It almost looked like you were just resharing our page.
Now, hey, listen, I'm using Opera now. I downloaded that to try to give things a little bit of a chance to see what happens. So
is that what's
yeah.
happening?
Now, let's go. No, don't do that. Okay, can't do that. So we got to stay on the screen.
Oh, it won't let you.
Yeah, it won't let me.
There you
It reads it as a pop up. So hey, we're gonna play around because things have been moving pretty smoothly with this. So
I mean, that's a. Are you Jokes? Are you a Metroid fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan. I've played the majority of them, like the ones that came out on the GameCube and anything else. But I enjoyed
So
them. I
Metroid
played.
Prime specifically.
Yeah.
What about the original Metroid title?
Didn't get into the
Like-
original ones.
Never. Okay. I'm not so sure about the Akira slide.
You got to throw in the Akira slide every single time you got a motorcycle.
I'll be
Of
honest.
course, we still got amiibos.
Of course, though, Jokes. Do you really mean of course when it comes to the amiibos? Is that like?
Listen, as much as I feel like the amiibo thing is just, it's been going on, and it doesn't seem like it's a major thing, but clearly people are getting them because they're still releasing them left and right with new titles that are coming out still.
I mean, I guess. I don't even really know what they do anymore. I feel like most people buy them and they're collector's items. They stay in the box or whatever, and I don't feel like they really use them. All right, Metroid Prime 4. Let me just say that I don't really like first person Metroid. I'm not really a fan. I like Metroid OG. I'm a fan of Metroidvanias, and much more a fan of the Metroid side than the Vania side. Like, I'm not a big Castlevania guy, but I love Metroid, and I love the, like, completing the path, finding the next thing, getting to a door you can't open yet, moving through, finding a secret path, getting the next thing that lets you open that door, or jump higher to reach the next, like, I love that. I actually think it is almost the perfect way to start a game and increase ability over time. Like, just increase not just like strength or how powerful you are, but like ability wise. Like, I feel like those games, when they're done right, and I feel like they're done right more often than not. I feel like the story that they tell in terms of what it feels like when you start versus what it feels like as you get closer to the end, and like all the abilities kick in, and like you're really moving on all cylinders and double jumping and moving and like all the different things you can do. Whatever kind of Metroidvania it happens to be. Like, I love that. And I think that they are games that truly shine in a 2D platformer space.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really feel like they're served well by the third dimension.
Gotcha.
Um and so like I like the idea of, I don't know, a first person like Metroid just doesn't work for me. I get it that it works for a lot of people, and I know for a lot of people it was their introduction to Metroid. Like, they hadn't, played, but I'm an NES, SNES,
Mm.
not Game Boy. I don't, because I don't really like handhelds. Are just, I don't know. I've always kind of felt like handhelds were like watered down versions of the real thing.
A
Even when
little
a
hard.
game was crafted from the ground up for a handheld, I've always kind of felt like I really would have loved it if you would have just put the time and effort into making it for a full console and really taking
Mhm.
advantage of like all of what's out here. Um, and I think that's because I came from like, I don't know, like, we're off the rails.
We're- ah,
This is what we do. I jokes, you have been a handheld person your whole life, correct?
pretty much, yeah.
So your first handheld, was it a OG Game Boy?
OG Game Boy.
Okay. And then you moved into what, a pocket or a
Pocket
color?
on there. I've had every iteration of the Game Boy except the Advanced SP. I think that's the only one for whatever reason. I didn't get that one, but Game
Like
Boy
the
Pocket.
clamshell, Game Boy Advance
Yeah,
SP, you never had
yeah.
that.
Never had that one. Had Game Boy
That's
Color.
crazy.
And I don't know why I never made the transition over to it. Because I guess it would have been advanced. What am I talking about? So advanced. Yeah, I just skipped a generation. I didn't go to the SP, and then after that would have been the 3DS at that point.
Did
Uh,
you have an N64?
had an N64.
Okay. What was your first console?
I'm trying to remember if I had the OG Nintendo first or if I had the Sega Genesis first.
Did you have an
Um,
SNES?
I had an SNES. Uh,
Would you say that you played your handheld, like your Game Boys, more than you played your console?
I don't think so. I think I played the console more, and then there was a phase I would say I probably did play the Game Boy more than anything else. But then when the SNES came out, and then they released the Game Boy player, so you could plug it in and then plug the Game Boy game into it. I feel like I started playing a lot of the games from the Game Boy just on the Super Nintendo, straight up on the TV. Um, it wasn't unless I was going somewhere with moms or pops that I probably had the
Right.
actual Game Boy to anything else. Otherwise, I was already just sitting here doing it.
I'm trying to figure out whether or not
Oof.
I have,
Actually, we may have an
maybe
echo.
because,
Gotta figure out where it's coming from.
oh,
Thanks, Frosty.
I'm wondering whether or not I am less partial to handhelds and kind of always have been, because handhelds have felt like a second market for me. So like, as a console player first and foremost, um like the Game Boy was cool because it came out when the NES was still a thing, and it was like black and white. The cartridges looked exactly like NES cartridges, but they were just smaller,
Baller.
right? And by the time the SNES came out, like the original Game Boy was still kind of a cool, neat thing, and maybe Game Boy felt still like an upgrade to like a Game and Watch, which is what we were like used to having in terms of something handheld. So it was the first time that something handheld felt like we were getting real games.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think beyond that, like once we got to like Game Boy Advance and then Game Boy Advance SP, even though I owned them, even though there were games that were there that like you couldn't get anywhere else, by the time those hit, SNES was like really already dead, and we had moved on to N64, and we had moved on to PlayStation, and like Advance and Advance SP were hitting. Like Game Boy Advance was like PlayStation. I was already on PlayStation 2, like Dreamcast when that hit, and it felt. I think that Game Boy Advance always just felt like, why are people still making SNES games? Because that's really all a Game Boy Advance was a handheld SNES. Same graphics, same power, same whatever. And I think maybe subconsciously I was just always like, these are games for a bygone era. Like we don't turn the SNES on anymore. We don't, like, we're done with that, right? And I'm trying to figure out whether or not, based on your age and when you were growing up, and like, so like Game Boys and Game Boy Advance on the playground, that's a thing for you. That's not a thing for my generation. Not for real. Like, I'm not saying people didn't have them, because we did, like OG Game Boy. But like, again, that was such a special thing because there really wasn't anything like it. And by the time Game Boy Advance comes, like, there's the Atari Lynx, there's the Neo Geo, which actually played the full, like, used the same game cards from the Neo Geo and played like full 16-bit games in a handheld. Game Gear was out, and that was full color, and it wasn't as good as what a Genesis was. But again, we had already moved on to like Genesis, so I just feel like maybe that's what it was. Like, the handheld market has always been secondary, and I just feel like I get why, from a business standpoint, like, there was money to be made there. I get it.
Oh yeah, the Game Gear though was just like, I don't even know if you consider that to be a portable. It took what, like 8 AA batteries in order for it to run.
Hey dog, it was heavy. But it was color.
Yeah.
And I had the TV tuner for that joint.
That's one thing I didn't have. I didn't have the TV tuner with my Game Gear.
Yeah, had a TV tuner. So literally you could just watch come on, bro. Portable stop playing. That was like you know, it's weird to me. Like, I think now, like, when I look back at it, I'm like, yo, if developers who were developing for like the Game Boy Advance and only making a game for Game Boy Advance had said to somebody like, oh, I'm making SNES games, you'd have been like, you're stupid. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. You know? So I understand that there was a market for it, and that, I don't know, in some manner, people just kept creating stuff that really was SNES level. And I'm just wondering if maybe that's why the handheld market just doesn't, it does nothing for me. Like, just now that the fidelity of those games has basically caught up with what we have under the console, it's a little different. But outside of that, it's generally been a generation or two behind. Is that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like fair. And also, I hated accessories. Bro, like Game Boys with the little squiggly light on the joint attached to the bottom with the
zoom in
magnifying
screen that
glass.
you had on there, the extra battery pack to put on the back. It was like, now you got this monstrosity of a hand thing.
Yeah, no, dog, I'm good. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Man, I guess before we get to, I'm gonna put up some of these. Got a couple comments in here while we going through, of course. Also, always got to pop in there.
Ellis has also been catching them all since Rugrats. That's very true. Call me when they get a new. Speaking of a new Star Fox game, So there is like a spiritual successor for Star Fox. Um, Give me a second. I will find it. I will tell
You'll
you
find
exactly
it.
what it is.
Frosty says she still got her squiggly like.
I don't even know. I'm not even positive how to respond to that. Like I don't know
All
how
those
to.
accessories. Honestly, all the accessories are kind of lost for in time for me. Like I still have like the only Game Boy that I know. Do I have it in here right now? I don't think I have it in here right now. I had the special edition Pikachu yellow Game Boy Color, and I had the green Game Boy Color.
Wait,
But all the
say that again.
accessories. So there was the Pikachu yellow one. But
Yeah.
before I got that, I had the green Game Boy Color.
Oh, so you have more than one.
Hmm
All right. Just because a new one came out.
It was because it was the Pikachu one. So the green one I was good with, had that on since from the beginning, and then it was like, yo, here's this Pikachu special edition Game Boy Color, and I was like, I gotta have the Pikachu edition.
Hmm. I mean, did you? But you kept them both.
I kept them both, yeah, because it allowed me for one, obviously, Pokemon being the main thing. If I needed to get Pokemon from one game to the other, I had two Game Boys that I was able to put each one of my cartridges in and move them back and forth without actually having to do things. Because some of the Pokemon, in order to like, if this is a stupid thing, and it's still that way. Some of them you had to trade to get them to evolve, versus the normal make them battle, level up, and they evolve. That was one thing I always hated. That.
All right, listen. You know I don't care about Pokemon.
I know you don't.
You know I like listening to you like that just seems like way more trouble than it's worth, bro. I'm just saying, like I don't. Jokes, look up. I believe the game is called Wild Blue, and it is. You might have to look it up as Wild Blue game. I'm trying to see if I can. Yeah. That's it. Look up this game called Wild Blue, and pull the trailer for that. So this is supposedly made by a dev who worked on Star Fox at one point, and is being considered. This hit like 2 months ago or something, but for some reason within like the last week or so, it's been reoccurring. Like it came back up across social media and so forth.
All right, got it right now. Let's go ahead and pop this.
Yeah, they are like basically making Star Fox. Like it would surprise me if they don't get sued as if they're Power World. But it looks like a cross between SWAT Cats and Star Fox.
Booey. Hey, yo.
Hey, bro, it's Star Fox, dog. And people are like, gotta have it.
Coming up on the islands.
Yep, same thing.
Yep.
We've got
I
company.
just need to hear him say something about doing the barrel roll or something like that.
Yep.
And then it's a wrap.
Did you see him just do the barrel
I
roll?
was done for.
Yeah, dog, it's doing Star Fox. I'll be honest, this is a must-have.
Oh, it's only on
Yeah.
Steam though.
I mean, whatever. I mean, that joint, that was what, Gamescom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that there are other trailers, like there are extended play trailers and stuff like that out there. Dog, the joint, it's Star Fox, bro. Like it's Star Fox.
That's 100%.
It's Star Fox, bro. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it is. I know it's coming to Xbox. Like I
Okay,
know
good.
I know that I've seen trailers specifically for it for PC and Xbox X and S. I believe so. It's probably coming out on everything. But yeah, that joint clean as a whistle. I kind of need that in my life. All right. So next thing on the agenda, jokes. We got to talk about Amazon again. So there, maybe a couple of months ago, this came up again. This is something that resurfaced recently on social media. There's a class action lawsuit against Amazon, specifically because their practices are being called deceiving in terms of basically it's the fact that there's a buy button, and there's a rent button, and the fact that when you buy a movie from Amazon digitally, you don't have any ownership. Like you can't download it. It's not yours. You're basically just paying for a license to use it technically while Amazon has the license, which to some extent says that Amazon doesn't actually have the right to sell you the product. They only have the right to sell you the license for a limited time, right? Whatever that time frame happens to be. And piracy is way rampant by comparison to this time like 5 years ago. And I think there are a couple of factors, but I'll let you chime in on what you think those factors might be before we get into that piece of it. This conversation is one that's it's going to be about ownership versus rental. It'll be about physical versus digital, right? And honestly, what you think, should happen under the circumstances. So obviously we also have to touch on piracy. So I'm not sure where you stand on piracy. I know where I stand. Where are you on piracy?
Like, it's hard. First of all, I don't support people trying to do stuff, and it's like, it's taken away from the creators and everything. So I think that's the biggest thing that I feel like. There are things where like certain media and certain content is just not accessible because whether it's like you said, licensing and all this type of stuff, whether it has age on it, it hasn't been made digitally and things like that, where I get why you have to go to the need to go somewhere to be able to download it, to either just for you to see it, have it in your collection. But I'm one of the, like, I don't want to take away from the creators, but at the same time, it's like these big companies out here that just have the ability to say access their content and make it available to the masses, just choose not to do it. Or because, like you were saying, they only have the license and they only have it for XYZ amount of time. And then once it's gone, whether you purchased it or however you got it, it's now not accessible anymore. I think it's a little bit different when it comes time for international types of like anime and things like that. Like nowadays, it's more easily accessible. You can get the majority of things that come out. You can stream it, you can buy it, you can watch it. Comparison to like, back in the day, a lot of things you had to go on the hunt to be able to get it. I think, honestly, you and Sin said it the best. Pandora's Cube, when it came time for certain things that you want to see, hey, y'all got the VHS of this that you've gotten from over there, record it or whatever. That was the only way that you can get it. Technically, it wasn't the right way, but it wasn't stuff that was being released over here for us to be able to consume that content.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, it was the only way.
Exactly.
Look, I'm not a fan of piracy. However, there's a time and a place. In a lot of cases, there's a time and a place for almost everything. So, like, there are always going to be cases where there's a version of history somewhere, a timeline somewhere, right, where Cartoon Network never starts to air anime, right? And in countries outside of Japan, it more or less remains niche, and the market for it drives piracy. That piracy, truthfully, is the reason why anime became a thing on Cartoon Network and is now made available the way it is. So there are cases where, trust me when I tell you, anime has been on television here in the States since like the late 60s, early 70s, easily, right? There have been executives for companies that would see something overseas and go, how can we reconfigure this to make it work for an American audience? Look at Transformers, look at G-Force, like Speed Racer. Like there has been anime that has made it to quote unquote mainstream and has been adapted, if you will, for an American audience. Which is different from a dub. But when it came to actually having the true storylines, even though because of censorship, some things had to be changed. When it came to having the true storylines that were associated with the anime that was being shown on Cartoon Network, that came from people who were pirating anime and knew what it was and were like, this is dope, we need to show it. And that was probably, truthfully, the earliest signs of we're starting to take control of the corporations and putting things in front of people, right? So yeah, if it wasn't for places like, at least for us here, a Pandora's Cube, where I could go there and get the most recent episodes that just aired in Japan because they had somebody there that was recording them to VHS, and then they were just doing dubs, and you know what I mean, they were selling them. I was paying for them. You know what I mean? Like, they were expensive, and so and eventually it was like, oh well, Suncoast has them, and Suncoast was hitting you in the head, like, 2 episodes for like $35 or whatever it was.
Suncoast, FYE, all of those, just trying to. Oh God, I had to go there anytime I wanted. So when I was buying Dragon Ball Z on VHS, and in the beginning, I didn't know there was a standard version and then the uncut version. So the standard version, I could, crazy enough, go in Target on like a Tuesday with the new releases, and they would have those.
Sure.
And then when I found out that the uncut versions existed, and that's where I ended up starting to venture into Suncoast and FYE, and I'm like, yo, why is this 3 times the cost of that jump that I didn't bought out of Target?
Yeah.
And it was like, because they're not everywhere. You can't get them. So Do you want this?
Well, you also were talking about the difference between getting the 4 kids version, literally the
Mhm.
number 4 kids version of an anime, and getting like the Funimation version
Yeah.
of it, right? Like, again, that kind of stuff notwithstanding, because anime is a little bit of a different beast. It's an international thing
Mhm.
that was going to be difficult to get anyway.
Anywhere
It's
over here.
not the same thing as it is now, where a movie comes out and it's in the theater, and then a few weeks later, it's available for you to get video on demand, whether that is a quote unquote digital purchase or you rent it. And you're talking about stuff that gets released here anyway. But what is happening aside from you pay for it, the button says buy or says purchase,
Mm-hmm.
and it's next to a button that says rent. And to rent it, it's $4.99 for 3 days. You start watching it, and then you have 24 hours to finish watching it or whatever before it goes away and you can't watch it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Where the purchase button says you can watch it as often as you like, as many times as you like, or whatever. But the reality of it is, what you have now is a license to view it, but you don't even own the license.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially renting it. It's in some cases a long-term rental. And part of what sparked the class action lawsuit was that there was a mother who bought a season of something on Nickelodeon. I can't think of what it is. Whatever the show is, it was a show I never heard of, but I'm not in that world anymore. It was a show I never heard of. It was like season 4 or something. And she spent like $36 to buy the season. And then within a couple of weeks, it was unavailable. Right. And she bought it. And so she's like, this is ridiculous. I spent $36. It said purchase, it said buy. And now you're telling me I don't have it because Amazon no longer has the license
Mm-hmm.
for that show. And so that means that she no longer has a license. And so the suit is really about whether or not they are being misleading by not really telling people up front that what they have is not really a purchase to buy, but that they are getting the ability to basically rent it long term. So it's one thing to have it taken from you altogether. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that is happening to people is, let's say you buy, I don't know, Jokes, what's a movie you would buy right now?
I don't even know.
New Superman. So, Jokes, you buy the new Superman on Amazon, and when you buy it, you buy the special edition, right? And it's, or the extended cut, and it's got extra footage or whatever in it. Amazon loses the license to the extended cut, but they still have the license for the regular one. And the one that you bought just turns into the regular one. It's no longer the extended cut.
Ew.
You go back in to watch it, they've changed the art, and now you no longer have the extended cut. Those are the kinds of things that are happening to people, right? Where they're buying it and it's the theatrical cut, and now they don't have the theatrical cut anymore. Or they're buying the one with the bonus footage, and now it doesn't have the bonus footage anymore because they lose the license to one, but they get the license to the other. So maybe it's that Amazon lost the license altogether, but renegotiated to get a new license for it. But that license is for a different version of the same movie, right? So you go back in to watch it, and you're like, oh man, you never seen the one with the such and such footage in it? And you go to show it to somebody, and when you load it up, it's not there. That's a thing that's happening to people, right? And they're like, this isn't the version I paid for. Not to mention, I paid extra
to get
for
that
the
stuff.
Like the extended cut was more expensive than the regular cut, and now that's also not what I have, right? So that's a thing that's happening to people, which personally I think there's no world where that should happen, and they shouldn't at least refund you.
Give you at least the difference back, if anything, between the regular version, like that special edition version. Like, but they gonna probably try to twist it and say,
but here's the thing, right? Technically, on paper, digitally on paper, you bought a
You
license to the
agree?
extended one, which you no longer have and they no longer have access to. They're, if anything, doing you a favor by giving you the other version of the movie, because technically they don't even have to give you that. So do they owe you that money back? You understand? Because really they could just be like, well, the extended cut's not available anymore. The regular one's available, and if you want it, you just got to go in and buy that one. You see what I'm saying? Because the one that you bought the license for is technically a different SKU, right? And like, coming from the physical world, right? You and I work Best Buy, physical world, worked in
Hmm.
media, bro. I sold you
You sold
DVDs
me.
and Blu-rays on a weekly basis, bro. If you walked into Best Buy and you bought the theatrical version, right? But you wanted the extended version, and the extended version costs more, I'd be like, tough rocks, bro. You gotta buy the
You
other
gotta
one. Like,
buy
it's
that
not, you
jump.
know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Um, if you said I lost it or somebody stole it or whatever, we want me to, right? It's it's a very tricky thing. And my personal opinion on it is, and I'm gonna air quote this, the easy fix is, if you buy it, you can download it and you're able, and it's just an MP4. It's not
Hmm.
something that they gotta check online to see if you have a license for it. Like, you bought it, it's yours, and you
Hmm.
can download it. And it really should be treated, in my opinion, like buying a physical copy that comes to you in the mail, right?
Hmm.
Or get shipped to you. And here's the thing. Oh, I feel like people are gonna hate this. I would be willing to pay more money if you told me that for 19.99
Hmm.
I get, let's use Superman because that's what we were just talking about. I get Superman just like it was in the theater or whatever, but it's under the circumstances that exist right now, where technically I'm just getting a license to watch it, and if that license goes away, I don't have it anymore. If you told me for another $5 that I have that license, but I also have the ability to download it, and I can download it and store it on a hard
Wherever and
drive
put
or
it
whatever,
ever.
and it's mine forever, bro, I would give you that $5 every time.
Hmm. I
So
agree.
easy. I wouldn't even think twice. And here's why I say that. I'm sure many people know here, if you've been around, I'm kind of a Microsoft person. I had multiple Windows phones. That's that's where I exist. I owned a Zune. We're gonna use the Zune as a case for this. Um, they used to have a thing where you paid a monthly fee. It's $10 a month, right? You had unlimited listening. So think Spotify streaming,
Hmm.
but you had access to the Zune library, and all the music that was there. You could go in, you could make playlists, you could do what, and you could listen to as much music as you wanted to, which is, again, not unlike what people do in a lot of cases now, right? But it eventually ended up being like $15 a month. It's kind of like what Game Pass is now. They had like an ultimate version of it, if you will. They had a Zune pass. That pass came with 10 downloads. Now, you could always download the music for 99 cents a song. That was like
Hmm.
always a thing once that became a thing with iTunes or whatever. You could download it. It was an MP3. When you download it, that version of it is yours. It belongs to you. As long as you had it, you could put it on a disc. You could burn it to something else. You could store it on your computer. Those are your files. You can do what you want with
Hmm.
it. Listen to it however you want. That paid streaming service came with, again, it was $15 a month. It would cost you $10 to download 10 songs, right? And every month you got 10 songs that you could go in and you could just download. If you listen to something you liked and you wanted to keep it, you could do it. Here's the trick. Whose album only had 10 songs on it?
10 songs on it.
So if you wanted the whole thing, right, you could download the whole album for free, except for like 4 or 5 songs. And you're going to give them the other $15 or whatever, $5 or whatever it costs anyway to get the rest of it. But truthfully, you were still getting ownership. You had streaming and you could listen as much as you wanted, but you were still getting ownership. I think that went away because clearly it didn't work for them, right? There weren't enough people. But I don't think that was an issue with the Zune or with the plan itself. I just think that was a like too little too late. iPod's already kind of running this, and then you can't really do anything about it. If Amazon did that, if Netflix did it, like Netflix doesn't allow you to purchase stuff from them. It's only streaming. So they're not really in trouble with this. That's the difference between where, like, that's part of, I think, why Microsoft's movies and TVs went away. And they did relatively recently, before they went away, they had to change the button on it so it didn't say buy or purchase anymore.
Whatever.
Because there was a lawsuit in Europe and they changed the rules. I don't know, Jokes. What do you think? I mean, you would pay extra to be able to own it?
I would give that extra few dollars to be able to own it. Because I would be like, let's just say, like, there's stuff that we buy, put in our digital libraries, and we may not necessarily watch it right now. But when you have that itching to go back and watch something, and then you go to do it, and it's going to tell you that, oh, hey, sorry, this is not available anymore, and you can't do another one, I would be pissed. And just because of the ease of, with the licenses, and, you're agreeing to whatever on there, it's like they could do it left and right, and there's technically not much you can do about it until something like, like a class action suit or something like that passes up. Because I'll put up, there's a couple comments, like one I'm going to throw up because this one kind of, a lot of physical copies come with the digital copy. I do that, Heather said. But the problem, though, is a lot of those digital copies, at least nowadays, utilizes somebody else's platform to keep them on. And it's kind of still the same thing. If they ever, for whatever reason, can't have the license to do it, they can still take it away.
Right.
In the past,
happened with Sony did that for a long time. There were a lot of Sony movies that came like that. If you bought the physical copy, it came with the digital version of it. That digital version, you could go in and you could access it, but it wasn't one that you could go in and you could download. Right? You had access to go and you could view it through their service or, maybe even a different service, but it doesn't actually give you ownership under most circumstances. It doesn't actually give you ownership over the digital file. You can't download it. It's an MP4 that takes up, 8 gigs
or whatever,
and you can put it on a hard drive and plug it in anything that reads a hard drive and watch it wherever you want, like you can if you like pirate it. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So a lot of times, that digital version that you're getting still is just a license. It's not actually giving you access. Now, truthfully, you would be better off taking that physical copy, and in that case, you have a physical copy, so you could make a digital copy of the physical one you have, which is perfectly legal, and then you have them. I did it with, I can't even tell you how many DVDs I had and how many hard drives. I spent a very long time putting a very large Plex library together of DVDs, like literally just every day coming home. Like I literally supervised the DVD and Blu-ray department for Best Buy. I had thousands of movies and they were all alphabetical. They had to be on the shelf. And when I finally was like, I can't do this anymore, I can't keep doing this shelf space, I started converting them over to digital copies, most of which were DVD. And then Blu-ray came and HD DVD came, and it was like, well, now I really need the other version of these with the higher, you know what I mean? Like, But I did that. Like I did it for a long time, and I literally had hard drives. Like we would take family vacations, and I would put the kids in the car with like a little TV on the back of it, and I had, instead of hooking up a DVD player, I had hard drives that I would just hook up and run, and they could just watch whatever they wanted, right? From the hard drive, go through the folders and find the file and just play it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that. And I don't think that people really get how expensive it would be and how much hard drive space it would take if you really wanted to be able to do that. But you might as well look at it the same way you would have looked at your shelf space. Like jokes. I cleared like three standing, like 6 to 8 foot tall shelves of DVDs, completely filled DVDs, right? And converted them so I could put all my Spider-Man shit on display, bro. Like I had to have a place.
Movies, Spider-Man stuff. Movies, Spider-Man.
I had to have a place for it, bro. And I still have the DVDs. Like they're in giant totes, bro.
The same thing.
Totes and totes of DVDs, bro. Like I don't know, man. And I don't know how you get around. I don't think Amazon is the problem. I think that's where I need to go. I don't think Amazon is the problem. I think that, well, Amazon owns MGM,
part of the problem,
so it's a little different. But I think the movie companies are the problem. Like whoever owns the licenses is the problem, because when Amazon goes to the table to negotiate getting the license to be able to quote unquote sell you something or rent you something, when they do that, the paperwork that they're creating is not giving them the ability to sell it to you and you keep it. So does Amazon need to change their wording? Yes, because I do believe that the practice itself is deceptive for a lot of people. However, I don't think there's a problem, because I think the problem for people is ownership. And I think if you're angry at Amazon about ownership, you're angry at them for the wrong thing. You can be angry at them for the wordage that they're using when you click the button and they take your money. However, it's the studios that own the licenses to the movies or the TV shows or whatever it is that are doing the contracts in a way where they are not giving them the ability to sell it to you. Those contracts really should be no different than when they do a contract with a Best Buy or a Target and they ship physical product to them. They have the right to sell you product and it's yours, right? Jokes, you might not be old enough to remember this. There was a product around the time DVDs first began to hit. There was a product called Divx. Have you ever heard of Divx? DIVX.
I have it. I had it for the longest time. That was the player that I used on my computers. All right. And just long story short, certain downloads that you had to get, like that was like one of the easy ways. Like it didn't really matter what the format was. Divx player played everything.
It did. But Divx as a format, they were selling discs that were Divx, and they were selling players that were Divx players. But they were essentially rentals. You could buy a Divx disc and they could update the licensing so you couldn't
use the disc?
Watch a physical disc anymore. And that's why it didn't work.
That's disgusting.
They were so much cheaper than DVD. Like what they charged for you up front was so much cheaper than DVD. But people didn't realize that that's what they were getting. And I think that's kind of where we are right now, right? This is not a problem that gets solved technically by suing Amazon. Could you make some money suing Amazon or by participating in a class action lawsuit? Yes. Can the FCC or some other government agency force a company like Amazon to change the wording that they use? Absolutely. It would be a coding change. I'm not going to say a simple, flick of a button, but more or less, right? They could change that and do an update, and more or less overnight, they can change what the button says that you click when you spend your money. Let's not call it a purchase, but when you spend your money. However, in order to fix the issue that exists with ownership, that is a conversation that you have to have with studios. And the issue with that is, as long as they own it, they don't ever have to sell it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody owes it to you to sell you the thing that they own. Like, nobody, right? So if I walk in your house, Jokes, and I say, sell me that Pikachu Game Boy, you can just say no, right? And I can say, no, I want it. You got to sell it to me. Like, you can't just make somebody who owns something sell it to you. Now, if I wanted that bad, Jokes, I can knock you out and I can take it. And in the digital world, we call that piracy. we just take it so that we have it and we can view it. And look, here's the thing. I'm not sure what the thing is in a human's brain that ticks the box that makes them feel like they have a right to own something they didn't create. I do understand feeling like you have a right to own something you paid for. If you believe when you paid for it, you were getting what we would all consider ownership, right? But if all you're really getting is a long-term rental that you that you have no idea when it's going to stop being a thing, when it's not going to be available anymore. There's a part of me that feels like they should at least be disclosing to you how long their contract for that license is. Right? Like, you should know up front, hey, we have a temporary license to sell you the license to this. And our license is only good for 5 years. And in 5 years' time, we're going to go back to renegotiate our rights to, to give you the license to watch this on our platform. Like, that's, and if you know that up front, it's very different than like this lady who's like, I just bought it, and then like 30 days later, I didn't have access to it anymore. You know what I mean? They should, if nothing else, have to disclose that to you. Like, Netflix does not a great job, but there are ways to go and see what's leaving Netflix. This month, right? And stuff turns around and it comes back, and internationally, if you use a VPN, you can watch pretty much whatever you want. I don't know, Jokes. Is there a better solution?
I don't know if I get it. You're not going to release everything. Like, that's the only. But I don't think there's a clear cut answer to this, because, like, I'm sorry, as long as licensing is a thing, this type of thing is just going to really be like this, because most places are not going to either want to fully distribute stuff, so they got to use these places like Amazon and places like that to be able to get the product out there, to be able for people to use. So I think, honestly, it's just going to be verbiage in the wording. It's just got to be a little more detailed in it. But I don't think much is going to really change.
Here's the thing, Jokes. My stance on piracy is one that comes from a place of being a creator, right?
Mhm.
Being a creative, there's a part of you that wants what you create to reach as many people as possible. And then there's a part of you that wants to get paid though for doing
Mhm.
it. And certainly, if nothing else, doesn't want to see somebody else get paid for your hard work, right? For like, if you think like bootlegging music and somebody
Mhm.
else is making copies and then they're selling it and they're making money and you're not making money because they're undercutting you or whatever. And when I think about all the people that I know who are creatives or artists in some manner, whether they are musicians, writers, um, or like physical artists, they draw or they paint or, you know, whatever. Jokes, I own a lot of artwork. I have purchased so many 11 by 14s and whatever of artwork from untold numbers of people over
Mhm.
the conventions that I have visited for 2 decades or more, right? And I'm going to tell you right now that I don't think any of the art I have ever purchased from anyone, because I don't generally buy like original one off art pieces. It's not,
Mhm.
you know, generally I buy stuff with characters I like. You know what I mean? A Spider-Man thing here, a Princess Mononoke thing here, a Cowboy Bebop thing here, or whatever. I don't think I own a single piece of art, whether it's been up on this wall or hanging up somewhere else, where the person I bought it from, the incredible artist who created, who put that artwork on that paper or on that canvas and sold it to me and made a profit, I don't think any of it, they own the licenses for those characters. Not a single one. It's so rare. I have supported so many artists who have earned and make a living in some way
Mhm.
by drawing other people's IP and
Mhm.
selling it to you for profit. And the company that owns it, whether it's Marvel or whoever it is, gets zilch. They get zero. They get nothing. And to be honest with you, it's piracy. Like, if you just look at it
It's the.
thing for thing,
Mhm.
technically, it's piracy.
Yeah.
So I can be the person who's like, hey, man, you got to go out and support your local artists and you got to go out, whatever.
Yeah.
So many artists would struggle to get their own IP in front of you and get you to actually buy it when they're characters that you don't know and you've never heard of it. Even if you think it's kind of cool, are you going to
Mhm.
read it and spread the gospel? And is it going to take off and become a thing? You know, whatever. 98% of all the art I've ever purchased from someone at a convention has been an IP that's owned by somebody else.
Yep. Yep.
Straight up. It's like if I went into a record store or I went to a, I don't know, a marketplace where they were doing music and I only bought music of artists I like, but I only bought the cover band versions.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope. That
The
is.
original
That is.
artist, the original writer getting nothing. Cover bands getting all the money, right? Bro, I don't know that there's a truly like you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so when
Effective
I'm
way
like,
to
yeah, I
do it.
want to make sure that we support the actors and the actresses. I want to make sure we like really you're supporting the studios and like the actors and the actresses get something or whatever. They get some kind of pay up front or whatever. Yes, I think, you know, if you look at SAG after and people getting fair pay and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest,
Mhm.
bro, the industry that is art
Mhm.
is full of pirates, bro.
Yeah. And
you can
I'm
call it
put up
whatever you
something in a
want. You
second
can
from
doll it up.
Andrew.
You can be like, well, we're a cover band. Or you can be like, oh, well, this play is a great play. And maybe we paid for the rights to be able to perform this play. It happens. But you're still so often watching people perform other people's work, other people's creations. It's a normal thing. It's like, you don't own anything Dragon Ball that was drawn by Toriyama. I swear you don't.
I wish I did.
Not original.
100%
Like, you might have something that was printed on a Game Boy package when you
or
bought the
something that has
game.
it on.
You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't know. No.
That would
You
be
don't have anything from
absolutely
older.
amazing.
Like, you don't, bro. So I don't know. I think when I look at it that way, and I think about like how so much of this works, and like even some of my best arguments for like why it's not okay to, or whatever. Like, bro, I've been supporting pirates for so long, Slim. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just,
Been a
in
part
some
of it.
way.
Yep.
And I love them. And they'll tell you, dog, we have been at conventions, at people's tables, when they have been walking around, quote unquote, enforcing the rules and being like, hey, this percentage of the stuff that you're selling at your table has to be your own IP because you don't have a license to sell whatever. And like, make people change their tables or shut them down or whatever. We've seen it happen. It's part of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's part of it,
Part of
bro.
the game.
So I don't think we get ownership back, bro. I don't.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. I'm gonna pop this up because this is a question Andrew asked. He was asking me specifically, but there's a part of the piracy piece that's going to end up being a part of this too. And because he was asking me about the rebranding of Super Sentai to the new Universe Heroes. And there's a part of the privacy thing actually goes into this, but one, I'm fine with it. Like, I have no issue with it. The thing is, once you have a franchise, one that has been established, has been around for, in this case, 50 years, and you've been trying to, do things differently every single time, things do start to get very, very repetitive over times. So in this particular case, think of this almost, to me, I think it's like almost like a spiritual successor. So you're going to see some similarities between Super Sentai and this Universe Heroes, but there's going to be some clear, straight up differences. Another thing, over here in the West, there's certain ones that they have released on DVD that you've been able to access. There's not an actual proper way to watch a lot of the Super Sentai. So with this rebranding, there's going to be a more focus on being able to release a lot of stuff over here in the West. They've done, and a lot of people don't realize this, there's been a test that they've been doing, and some people probably just didn't realize it. They've been streaming Kamen Rider, the newest season of Kamen Rider, on YouTube. Shout Factory has it on there weekly. You go on there, you can watch it, you can stream it, and those numbers have been insane. Shout has been showing Super Sentai on their YouTube channels in certain degrees, and those numbers have been climbing. But at the same time, the amount of people that are downloading and streaming and getting it however they have been also on the climb because there's not an actual official way to do it. So this is another reason why they're trying to do this rebranding, because they're planning on giving us the ways that they're going to be able to submit it and have us be able to get it, obtain it, and watch it. So there's a lot of moving pieces in this. So they want to kind of make a break in it because, like, look, they've been having people for decades coming back, which is really cool, and reprising those same characters from the original Super Sentai series, like Go Ranger, all the way up till now. But let's be real, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to find a way to kind of start fresh and move in a different direction for it. So personally, I think it's a great move, and especially if they're trying to expand and do these different licensing agreements to bring it over here, perfectly fine. make it easier for me to be able to access it and download it, because there used to be ways to do it. And of course, Toei said, not doing that no more. And that was kind of the first sign that they were going to probably start making things accessible over here, especially with subtitles on there. But overall, I think it's going to be a good play. That's another reason why Power Rangers hasn't had a new season, because I bet they've been trying to work through stuff and they knew they weren't going to be able to get some of those remaining licenses. That's why they're supposedly doing our own thing again, because they're not going to be able to get some of those licenses to keep things going.
Yeah, look, people, if you create a hunger for it and then you don't create a way for people to get it, they're going to pirate it. Like, they're going to find a way to get it and they're going to pirate it, right? And if you're smart, you kind of can have some kind of control over that piracy. Like, if you could just leak it like yourself and just like, you know what I mean? And make it so that that's how it's happening. With something like YouTube, it's one of those things where there's money to be made in advertising that comes from uploading something like that, and you're getting enough views that there's money that's coming in because you're seeing enough views. And so people can always go back and watch it or rewatch it, or they may always have access to it because they can just keep it there, right? Like, they have ownership of it and they can upload it. And really, YouTube is making some really big strides to offset. They want to take market share from some of the other streamers, again, which is a fight. But like right now, one of the big pushes for YouTube, for Alphabet, for Google, whatever, is to they want to be the number one source for music. They want to dethrone Spotify, which a lot of people are very angry about the way that Spotify pays out to artists, right? And so YouTube has made some adjustments and it's doing some things where they're changing that. Tidal is doing the same thing, where they're making sure that they're paying out to artists differently, and that there are ways for you to specifically help make sure that the artists that you really want to listen to and support get paid. Is there a space where something like that could happen in like movies, or in a space like Amazon? It could in Amazon Music, which could then help force something in the video sector for Amazon, but it's not likely, just because of the way the licensing works and who owns what, and like how many people have to get paid if their contract says that they're supposed to have royalties for A, B, and C. It's very tricky. Jokes. Video games. This weekend, as we stated at the beginning of the show, this weekend is Extra Life. Jokes, if you could run through our times for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and what we're looking at playing for everyone, because it's almost time to wrap the show up.
Yep. So let's start with Friday. So we're going to be going from 12 to 9 on Friday. Kicking things off 12 to 2. Everything for the most part is in 2-hour blocks. Obviously, things can go awry as we start playing, so take some of the times with a grain of salt a little bit, but we're going to pretty much stick to them. 12 to 2, we're going to have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. From 2 to 4, we're going to have Rainbow Six Siege. We'll have a break from 4 to 5, so kind of just to chill out, get some lunch and eat and do things like that for it. From 5 to 7, we're looking at Path of Exile. From 5 to 7, and then from 7 to 9, we're going to be doing some Helldivers too. That'll wrap things up for Friday. Saturday, we're going to be going 11 to 8. From 11 to 1, we'll be playing the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. Kind of be switching between some games on there for it. Specifically on Saturday as well, we're dedicating 4 hours specifically to Sin with a couple of the games that we know that he would absolutely love to play. We're going to be doing Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet from 1 to 3. We'll take our break in the middle for 3 to 4, and then we're going to come back with One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 from 4 to 6. And then from 6 to 8, we're going to be playing Ready or Not. And then Sunday, we're going to be doing 10 to 7. I don't know if we fully decide. We said we may change this out. So Grand Theft Auto 5 from 10 to 12. There's a small chance that could get switched out, but depending on how you guys want to join into it, that may stick around. From 12 to 2, we're going to be doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is Splintered Fate. I actually enjoyed the little trial that we did, trying to just make things work. That was pretty cool. We'll break from 2 to 3. From 3 to 5, we'll be playing Tumblestone. And then from 5 to 7, we'll be wrapping things up with Borderlands 4.
I want to clarify that when we take those breaks, we're going to eat, but we're still going to be live. Like we'll be up, we'll probably be messing around and playing games, and we'll be talking and stuff like that. We'll be kind of going through where we are in terms of like donations and that kind of thing. So we will have those breaks, but we'll still be live. Dom said, "Count me in for Pat." Look, my man said, "I got the character of characters. I'll walk y'all through it. I'm ready, bruh."
And Borderlands 4.
I'm with it. Okay, so here's the thing. Jokes, have you prepared like what your milestones are going to be for?
I got a good little breakdown. I feel like I may change stuff up a little bit, but I think for the most part, I have down what I want to do to get up to my 1,000 goal.
Okay.
This one is going to be. I'm kind of going back a little bit to how I love to do the hot challenges and things that are involved in here. So my goal I have right now is set for $1,000. The hope is make the 1,000 and we exceed that, and we exceed that. We'll come up with some crazier stuff to do in the meantime. But first thing is for every $75 that I earn, I have, where is it at? One of Tatiana's sisters actually got this for me. It's called the Tongue Bomb Inferno. I know you probably can't see it that good. These are actually jelly beans. The thing with these, so they come in packs of 5. Out of the whole pack, only one of them is actually hot. So as I get through the 75, I'm just going to eat one out of the pack for it. And I'm going to continue. What's going to happen is eventually I'm going to get that hot one, regardless, on there for it. So that's going to be every $75. There's 5 in the pack.
Oh, there's only 5 in the pack.
There's only 5 in the pack. Now there's multiple packs within this one gigantic one. So obviously, if I hit the hot one, I'm going to open up another one so we can, start the whole entire thing over again for it. But that'll be every $75, regardless of where we're at. Like any $75, I'm going to be doing that for it.
Okay.
Now, these are going to be the tiers still as I go up. So these are going to still be on top of that. So my $200, I do have a couple of different flavored ramens that I'm going to be able to do. One I'm probably going to like. So it's kind of a whatever. But if I hit $200, I'm going to be eating pumpkin pie flavored ramen. I'm hoping it's good, but it's probably going to be absolute garbage.
Hold on. Pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice? You said pumpkin pie. Is it pumpkin pie?
It is pumpkin pie flavored ramen noodles in sauce.
You're so nasty, bro.
Hey, listen, we got to do these type of things for the kids. We got to.
I'll let you keep that 200. That we must be you and Tatiana over there.
For the 300, we're going to be doing one more thing of ramen, and we have the dill pickled flavor ramen. There's a part of me that feel like maybe this one won't be as bad, but I feel like this is probably going to be just as equal in garbage for it. Now after that, and sir, I did verify, and mines are still good, so I'm throwing these back in. So last year, I did buy the hot ones, the sauces, the whole entire collection, but I never made it through the last half of the box. So as we go through this, 500, we're going to be eating the Ninja Napalm. So the ones that I'm going to be eating are in the top half of the spice. So there is no mild type of thing in here. We're going all in at this point. $650, we're going to be doing the Bomb Evolution. $800, I think I'm saying this right, is Arball Scorpion. And then once we hit the $1,000 mark, we will be doing the Last Dab. Now, I'm going to have nuggets on deck like crazy. So it's not going to just be like a little bit. I'm like, I will be dipping these. So the heat is going to be real. And then, of course, this is still on top of the jelly beans. So things could get bad. But we shall see.
What happens if you hit your full $1,000 goal?
The Last Dab is going to be the $1,000 goal.
Hey, bro. All right. All right, here's the deal. This weekend, there's a couple things happening. One, it will be the 11th anniversary of Loading Snacks this weekend. So, look, normally we try to, for a number of years, we would try to get out and do a little something, like spend some time with some people. Last year, we were able to go out and have some people join us at Dave & Buster's for like the 10th anniversary. We're not quite going to do that, but I have some things kind of planned, especially for like in those break moments where we'll probably go back and revisit just kind of some old stuff that we've done to kind of celebrate the fact that we're, turning 11. And this weekend is also my 48th birthday. So for every $48 donation I get, I will donate 2 to make it a solid 50. Okay. I purchased 3 of the hot sauces from the new season, the season 28.
Mm-hmm.
I have the new Last Dab, right? Every time I get a total of $480, right? I'm not going to just go like, I'm going to do this hot sauce and then go up every time I hit $480. What's going to happen is at $480, we're going to choose one at random. It's not going to be up to me. If it happens to be the Last Dab, if it's the hottest one, it's the hottest one.
Every single time.
It could be. It could be. Jokes. It could happen that way.
Oh God.
Here's the thing.
These comments.
So there's a lot of Legos around here. My own Legos. After I hit $1,000, I will break a built Lego set.
Whoa, I knew it was coming.
At $1,500, I'll do it again. I'll do another one. I get the $2,000.
Breaking everything.
No. No. I'll do it again.
Just play Limp Bizkit, break stuff in the background.
Look, the truth of the matter is, right? At some point, I gotta make space for some of this new Lego stuff I haven't built yet.
Hey, there's a good
excuse. I guess
for the kids, and the kids are going to help you make some space for the new sets to come out.
I'll be honest, the idea of it makes me sick to my stomach.
I'll trust.
It just feels wrong. But for the kids.
For the kids.
Right. Anyway, my oldest daughter Zaina will also be streaming. I don't know what her goals are. I don't know exactly what her stuff is, but I know she has some stuff set up. I don't know exactly what days. I don't think she's doing all 3 days. Dom will be joining us. our homie Cuddy will be joining us. So we have some extra folks just kind of hanging out with us to to support. K K might play some games, but I think like K is gonna stream. He will jump on Twitch and he DJs, so he'll jump in and DJ and do some stuff there, and people can go in and donate, directly to his. But again, the important thing is that we're doing this to raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I am specifically playing for Children's Hospital in DC. So, did you pick a specific hospital, or are you just playing?
Same Children's Network. No, Children's Network in DC. Same thing.
Okay, Children's Hospital in DC. Yeah, I mean, look, we know that times are hard, man. We know there's a lot going on. Some of the folks who are talking about just jumping in to help us and play games are furloughed, right? Like we it is what it is. But when times are hard, the people who are already in a bad way need more. Like they need even more help. And so if you have it, you have it. If you don't, that's cool. We really would appreciate you just being there, hanging out with us, jumping in the chat, talking a little trash. And if you can, share it out, right? Because if you share it out, maybe there is somebody out there who, will see what we're doing and, will want to help support the cause. So, even if you don't have it, man, like you just sharing it and helping put it in front of other people is so super helpful. So if you could do that, then that'll be great, and we greatly appreciate it. Now, Jokes. Do we have to do anything wrestling this week?
Nothing. No, nothing's coming really right now for it. Latest episode of The Finish was live. So me and Marcus had a discussion. There was this ominous promotion that we had been doing over the last couple weeks, like people randomly walk in, and we were trying to figure out what it was. We gave our ideas, and one of our ideas was absolutely correct, and it kind of took away from the whole entire thing that they were building up to it. For you guys that are watching wrestling, you probably already know what I'm talking about. It's worth coming and listen to our discussion on it, because it's kind of one of those things. Is like, this was an absolute waste of time of a build for an ad that you guys did. So check that out. Me and Marcus, it's on YouTube currently right now. It is available for you guys to watch whenever you please, or listen as well too, thanks to Gage.
Yeah, that means it's on Spotify. So look, after this weekend, next weekend, November 15th, Saturday, we will be at StellarCon Catonsville, doing hosting duties and such there. So if you're in the area, feel free, come check it out. Go to StellarCon, look up StellarCon, follow them across social media, and go grab a couple tickets and come out and hang out for the day. It's gonna be really cool. They have some really cool guests that are gonna be there. It's always a really good time. So by all means, come out and hang out. And if you see us, say hey. Loading Stacks Movie Club movie of the month for November is Batman Begins. As we are prepping for Ocean City Comic-Con, which is happening second week of December, we're doing 2 panels. One of those panels is we are doing the top 10 live action DC films, theatrical releases. But before we do that, we always have to see the top 3. And so while we have a really good time playing around and kind of setting up what the top 10 looks like once we have everybody there at the panel and just kind of having a good time and doing rock, paper, scissors and all that, we are going to have a very serious version of that discussion and actually set up a top 10 so that we can seed our top 3. Obviously, Jokes and I will be there. Rob from Comic Logic has agreed to join us to do that. I've also spoken to Jerry Gaylord, who has agreed to join us for that as well. I'm looking to see one more person after having a conversation with Jerry.
Oh,
I think I know who that person will be, but I have to shoot some messages out.
Rob waves in the chat.
Rob, that picture looks just like you. So look, I think it's going to be an incredible discussion. For those of the people who will be on it, I will make sure I'm sending out a list. I'm sending out some rules so that everybody knows, what the rules and so forth are. But it's going to be a great time. I have not solidified the date just yet, but it will either be November 25th, so the Tuesday. We will do a special edition version of Loading Snacks Weekly for this top 10. It will either be Tuesday the 25th, so the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, or it will be the following Tuesday, December 2nd. One of those two. I need to speak to and lock in at least this one more person. There might be an additional person on top of that, but I need to lock that person in and make sure that they're going to be available and which one of those dates works best for them, because I think the rest of us are pretty good for either one of those. So just know that that's coming. It's brewing. Prepare your minds for what that might look like at the end. And look, I can't tell you won't be upset, because that would be a lie. There's a good chance you're not going to like the way the list turns out. But I can tell you this. It will be fair. It always is. And if you want to see how it works, I highly recommend go on YouTube and look up our top 10 wrestling finishers discussion. It is. Oh, it's divine. Feel free to check that out. Now, Jokes.
Yo.
I don't have anything else. I need to get some rest because we got a long weekend ahead of us. Do you agree?
I agree.
All right. So then we got to get out of here. Listen, I want to thank all of you for hanging out with us on this wonderful, beautiful Tie Tuesday. It is always so grand to have you here. I'm so happy that you are. I want to make sure I give an especially special shout out to the lurkers. Those who enjoy the content, but maybe aren't comfortable enough to comment, or maybe just because of what we're talking about, don't have anything to say, but are still enjoying what it is that we're bringing to the table. We really appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who did comment, who hung out, and spent some time with us this evening. It means the world. Jokes. Tell them what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we're out. Toodles and loose.
Loading Snacks